Hi friends, it's me Desiree with Clearday. Today we're going to be going over names of young animals. So typically when we see a baby animal, any kind of animal, it typically has a different name than what a grown or adult of that same animal would be. So what do you call a young bear? Okay, when you think of a bear, what would you call the baby of a bear? A cub, right? They're called cubs. Have you ever seen a cub? The mama bears are pretty protective of their baby cubs, right? I've seen a bear that had 4 babies. I think that's probably the most I've ever seen them have. But sometimes you'll catch them with 2 or 3 cubs. All right, what do you call a young cat? What would you call a baby cat? A kitten, right? Kitten. All right. What do you call a young cow or bull? What do you call a young cow or bull? They're called a calf, right? Has anybody ever been chased by a bull? They come charging at you. All right. What do you call a young chicken? A chick, right? All right. So a chicken is known as a chick when it's a baby. What do you call a young deer? What would you call a young deer? They're called fawns, right? Here in Texas, we have signs out in certain areas that warn that fawns are crossing the road. All right. What do you call a young dog? What do you call a young dog? A pup, right? They're little puppies. What do you call a young duck? What would you call the baby of a duck? They're called ducklings, right? All right. What do you call a young elephant? What is a baby elephant called? They're called a calf. They're called a calf. All right, what about a young fox? What are we calling a baby fox? They are called cubs as well. So you would call it a cub. My father found a baby fox when he was a young boy and kept it for 7 years. He said the day he let her go was the day she bit him. All right, what do you call a young goose? What's the word that we use for a baby goose? We call them gooselings, right? A gooseling. What do you call a baby horse? What is a young horse called? A foal. That's right. A foal. What do you call a young lion? What would you call a young lion? They're called cubs, right? You would call it a cub. What do you call a young rabbit? What would a baby rabbit be called? What's the word for it? We hear this word around Easter a lot. A bunny, right? A baby rabbit is a bunny. But I hear people calling grown rabbits bunnies all the time too, right? What do you call a young sheep? What's that word that we use when we're referring to a baby sheep? They're called lambs. A sheep and a lamb are the same thing. A lamb is just the baby. What is another word for a young swine, hog, or pig? What do you call the babies? What do you call a swine, hog, or pig? The babies are referred to as piglets. Piglet, right? All right, or next one, a tiger. What do we call a baby tiger? What do you call the young? They're referred to as cubs. So baby tiger is called a cub. And what would you call a young wolf? When referring to a baby wolf, what would it be called? They're called a pup, just like dogs, puppies. I hope you enjoyed this game of naming young animals.